Open letter to Councillor Michael Harrison, Environment, and Councillor Philip Broadbank, Liberal Democrats, on the subject of Harrogate recycling, responding to a front-page published article from the Harrogate Herald, dated Tuesday, August the 30th, 2011. Dear Sirs, I recently read in the Harrogate Herald that the Harrogate Borough Council had passed a plan to overhaul the waste services in the town at an expenditure of £2.8 million, and that as part of that you were thinking of purchasing wheelie bins with microchips in them. I think that your initial assessment is probably logical, that whilst Harrogate Borough Council have no plans yet to introduce a reward system which could only be monitored through microchips, that in the event they decide that would be a good idea, it is better to have bins with chips than have to replace the bins once again for those without. I also share in the raised concern that an equal possibility for the council would be to penalise people who do not recycle and use the microchips to gain evidence. The article says this is illegal. However, in some parts of the country we are aware that there are legal ways for charging people that produce too much waste or incorrectly sort their recycling, and must accept that legislation on that issue appears to be slightly fluid and may change. My primary reason for writing isn't, however, about the above. It's about the fact that this overhaul has come into place following the discovery that the recycling rate in the town is only 30%. I am in favour of curbside collections. However, I have to say I was not really impressed when it came to my area. The setup and distribution of boxes and bags was explained on a leaflet, and yet the council had not dispatched these by the time of the first stated collection. And when I rang to ask if they were aware many residents in my area are in fact flats, and thus need boxes and bags each, I was assured that would be taken into consideration, and yet only one box turned up. I take my recycling to the recycling depot in the Harrogate Asda car park. I cannot understand why, given the cost of curbside collections, the council doesn't create a few more of these depots. The main problem, and this is not solved by the curbside collections, is that cardboard can be recycled and isn't, neither by curbside collections nor at these few depots. We are not in a much better state with prospects concerning plastic either. I have heard rumours that the town's tip has those facilities, but it's a real stretch to expect people to go quite that far. I wondered, as you seem to be in a time of pondering, but have pressing deadlines for 2012 looming, if the council would consider the points I raise here as citizen feedback on the area of recycling. I by no means believe that you are doing a poor job. Please do not misjudge this letter. This is a letter of complaint. Its intended purpose is just to stimulate thought about, basically, how cardboard and plastics recycling ought to be considered an option somehow. With high regards, Amore Fides.